Hello everybody, I was going to do a follow-up video on this John Deere 458 baler. So what I was having trouble with before is it was giving me an E512 error code on the monitor. I was able to finish baling the field that day where I lost all bell size indication and bell shape indication. So this monitor was basically blank. Fortunately with this baler, it's got a manual indication for the bale size. Let me flip this camera around. So that's the manual indication for the bale size. So when this indication comes down, gets into here, I can manually put the net wrap on. That's pretty good redundancy as far as the baler goes. Had no idea on shape, but I was able to keep baling and just weaving back and forth on the windrow. Bales turned out pretty good. Not exactly perfect, but it worked out good. So I think what happened was I blew this hydraulic hose right here. And when I blew it, of course, this whole area was covered with oil. It was just, I dumped probably 2 or 3 gallons of oil, just sprayed over this entire portion of the baler. So people baling hay know that when you're baling hay, I just fixed the hose, didn't think of another thing of it, finished baling the field. That was right at the end of the second crop. So I went started baling end of third crop. So I had a little bit of fourth crop to bale, so I just got back on the baler, started baling. I had that error code, was able to finish that little bit of fourth crop. So this is the closed gate indication switch right here. I pulled this guy apart, and these wire connections on there are just landed under a screw with an eyelet on it. Well, this whole thing was so caked with dirt, oil, hay leaves, dust. You guys can imagine how filthy this machine was. And I think what was happening is the dirt was almost shorting that across and giving the baler a faulty reading. All the voltages back here are DC millivolts. So they're really, really low voltage. And I think any little thing threw it out of whack. There was no wires melted, there was no wires damaged or going to ground. But I think these two underneath this cover on this closed gate indication switch were shorting each other out. The interesting thing about it is I thought it was part of the bell shape system that was giving me the trouble. So these wiring, see if I can show you that. That is like the weatherproof connections right there. They just snap together. And whoops, see if I can get a better view at that. So those guys are like basically waterproof. And this closed gate switch is not. It's just open wires under there. So I really think that was the head of the problem. So the fix was to wash it. I finished baling fourth crop, got all done, monkeyed around, spent half the afternoon checking voltages. I had good voltage everywhere. All the ground indications seemed to be reading correctly. I didn't know what else to do. Looked on the internet, I talked to 2 or 3 different dealers. Never did get good direction from anybody. So I almost just give up on it, pulled the pressure washer out, and just cleaned the machine really good with the intent of just storing it for winter. I had it down to my shop, got it all clean, fired it up. All the codes were gone. The indication on the monitors was all reading correctly. So I'm hoping that this problem doesn't come back to get me. I'm hoping this is the end of it. So appreciate everybody watching. Hopefully this can help someone that if they blow a hose or if the machine gets super dirty. I did have a neighbor tell me in the middle of all this that he's had not that particular code, but other codes that are faulty, what I would say, and he's cleaned it and had it go away. So I think it's a little bit of an issue with these balers. I know for me, that's a good learning lesson that pretty much every time I'm done baling, I'm going to go through the extra effort it takes to clean it really well. A lot of times I'll blow it off with like a weed blower. That gets 90% of it off, but if I ever blow a hydraulic hose, I know I'll take the extra time to get it cleaned off. So Thanks everybody for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Thanks.